Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie. I live in Utah, Zone 6/7, and it's been a gorgeous day today. It's middle of May, just past Mother's Day, and a few days since I showed you how I put together my green stalks. Now, I will link that video up above, show you how I put together the green stalks, how I add soil and how I topped them off, how I fertilize them. And now we're going to do the planting, which is the most exciting time ever. Now, I have 3 green stalks. I think I have 2 of the original and 1 leaf. I've already planted up the original pretty much, so let me show you what it looks like now, and then we're going to show you what I'm going to put in my other 2 green stalks. So this is the green stalk at the front of my property, and it looks like it has some empty holes, but the holes that are empty actually have beets and beans in them. But let's show you what I put in the rest of the holes. This will completely fill out to overflowing. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Let's show you what I put in here. Now, I love to put a combination of edibles and flowers in my green stalks. The top I always reserve for plants that hummingbirds love. So we've got salvias, blue and red. I always love having marigolds in there. Let me see if I can find the yellow one that I put in. So we have yellow ones, we have the regular color ones, and then we have this peach flowered marigold that is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, this is the regular color right here. It's really hard to tell because sometimes the color does not show up well when the sun is wrong. I also went and found some peppers, and unfortunately I forgot to tag what pepper was which. But these peppers are in here for food and also for the color of the peppers. Some of them are variegated and some of them are purple. This is one of the few years I'm going to be putting petunias up in here because I absolutely love the color of these. And I think they go really well with the peach marigolds. This one's going to be a yellow marigold right here. We've got oregano. This is a variegated oregano that's going to be really beautiful. We've got purple opal basil, and I always harvest this and use this. It's got, I wouldn't say a cinnamony flavor or licorice. It's almost a combination between cinnamon and licorice. And I really, really love to put it in pasta dishes. And then I found a nursery that had these little tiny micro-dwarf tomatoes. Now, micro-dwarf tomatoes do beautifully in green stalks. They only get about 12 inches tall and wide, and they will completely fill out this area, and they're highly, highly prolific. I cannot remember which variety this one is, but it might be Micro Tom. But anyway, I'm really excited about that. And then at the very bottom, I put some kale. And the reason I put the kale down there is that I just had some left over, and I know the kale can handle the shade a little bit more down at the bottom of the green stalk. So once this fills out, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Now, these are the baskets and buckets of beautiful flowers that I'm going to be putting in these 2 green stalks. So they're basically all the same. So we've got the peppers, we've got the marigolds, we've got salvias for the hummingbirds, the variegated oregano. Now, these are chamomile because I always love coming out onto my deck and harvesting chamomile. I love the smell. I love to use them for tea, and it makes me happy. The bees love them. And these green stalks are ones that I can see from my back window. Now, planting green stalks is incredibly easy. You can do it one of 2 ways. You can take the entire planter apart and plant out each pocket and then put each pocket back onto the green stalk. I don't like to do that because I am kind of weak, and sometimes I've smashed plants doing it that way. But if you have more muscles and you're able to get that green stalk back up there without smashing the plants below it, that's great. What I like to do is just dig a hole in the planting pockets and plant the plant. So let's show you how we do it with the salvia, and then I'll bring you in closer and show you. So obviously, first thing you do is take the plant out. You look at it, see if it's root bound. This one looks pretty good. I like to always mess up the roots just a little bit. I don't think it's really totally necessary, but I like to do it. And then I will reach into each pocket, pull out enough of the soil, put it in another pocket, that I can fit the root ball in. And I like to dig it a little bit under the top level so that it angles out a little bit. Shove it right in there and then put the dirt back around it. And then sometimes, if it's a large root ball like this one, I'll take the dirt from the extra pot and put it in other areas that don't have as much dirt. But this is all planted up. So let's get you in closer and show you how we're going to do the next one. So for this one, we're going to show you with one with a smaller root ball, this little marigold. It's really easy. You just remove enough of the soil that you can completely bury the root ball. You want to make sure that the root ball is buried so the top of it doesn't dry out. You just stick it back in there. Put the soil back in the pot so that the roots are completely covered. You do want them completely covered. And now that should grow beautifully. So let's get the rest of the GreenStalk put together. Now I'm a landscape designer, so I do like to think about where I put the plants in the GreenStalk so that we can have maximum beauty. Now it doesn't really matter how you put them in there, it's just whatever you like to do. So what I'm going to do is evenly distribute the color around the GreenStalk, put the vegetables in areas where they're going to be the most attractive, and the other thing I'm going to watch out for is I'm not going to put vegetables that are going to get shaded out by other plants underneath the plants that will shade them out. So the plants that are bigger, I'm going to make sure that I put them in areas where they're not going to shade out other plants. So let's finish up with the marigolds. So we'll just evenly distribute these around. So we have nice pops of yellow all the way through. Pat it in. So now we're going to take a few bean seeds. I'm going to try to keep them all the same variety and put 3 in each pocket. Then we're just going to cover them up. And these are just bean seeds I saved from last year. Some were red, some were yellow, and some were green. Now the last thing that I'm going to do is water each plant in its own pocket, and then I'm going to pour water in the top. Now normally you don't need to water each pocket because the top water will water everything. But since they're newly planted and this was a little bit dry because it's been really hot, we're going to just do that first. And we're not going to do a ton, we're just going to do a little bit on each one. Do it really carefully, all the water is spilling out. So everything's a bit dirty, but I'm going to come in here a little bit later, shove all the soil I can back into the pots that need it, and bring a hose up here and wash off the pots, and then they will be gorgeous and ready to go. Now, as for watering green stalks, I showed you that you can pour the water up into the hole that flows all the way down through the green stalk and fills each of the little trays that are under here. And then they weep out and water each level. Most of the time I water these 3 times a week, and I have built my own automatic watering system. Right down here you see a tube. This is hooked to a zone that's attached to my north side, which is my shade tolerant plants, and those garden beds over there. So each of those beds and that shade area go off 3 times a week. So that means that this tube right here also goes off 3 times a week. I put it up through a PVC pipe, and I messed around a lot and tested, and I think this ended up being a 2-gallon per hour drip emitter, because my drip irrigation goes off every hour, and I put 2 gallons of water in here when I water with my watering can. So the 2 gallons per hour drip emitter actually seems to work really well, and I haven't really needed to come up here and do any extra water. This is nice because you can just pull it out when you twist the planter, and it doesn't tear apart any plants, and it's amazing. You can still turn the planters. So we've got one also over here. Now, I know GreenStalk sells automatic watering systems, and you could use that, or you could just water these any way you want. Honestly, watering them by hand is not a big deal. Bringing up this watering can that has 2 gallons in it, filling each of those tubs 3 times a week does not take that much time. So these are really self-contained right now. We put the slow release fertilizer in here, and then once every 2 weeks, sometimes I'll wait a little bit longer, I'll use fish emulsion in the watering can. Now you can also just pour the fish emulsion into the container here and allow it to mix that way. So I'm really happy to have that project done. Like I said, I can see those out my back window, and I love to sit and watch them. And my cat loves to sit and watch the hummingbirds safely from inside the house. The other thing I love about green stalks is you can grow just about anything you want in them. You can have them look any way you want. You can have them be fully productive and less beautiful. You can have them all flowers, all one type of flower. I've seen people grow sweet potatoes and potatoes in there, onions. They've had the whole thing be peppers. They've had the whole thing be flowers. So you need to just experiment with what you like in your green stalks and grow them how you like. This is what I like in mine. Now, I would love to hear what you grow in your green stalks and what has worked and what hasn't. Now, I hope this video has been helpful for you. If this video has been helpful, I hope you like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and go have a wonderful gardening adventure.